Coming for you.
Boom, and we should be roasting and yoasting. Come on, Facebook. There we go. We are live.
Perfect. Let me share this real quick.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, another draft season. This jacket's very, very small.
Why do I see Vegas going and grabbing Penix?
It's heavily rumored. We'll see what happens. Because that's what we're about to talk about. That's what we're about to talk about, Siglin, because we're live. So make sure you look at the camera. You're literally facing away right now. So like, let's be an adult. Oh, you never have. All right, let's just shift you out of camera.
No problem. I've said how I feel about these lives.
He hates
many
live
times.
streams. It's because it's just raw. We're here. We're live.
So, yeah. Get that cream because
Yeah.
it's raw.
Let's get it going.
Yep.
Yeah, get that kid. Yeah. We're gonna hang out for a second before we inevitably just choose Caleb Williams first overall.
Well, you know the Bears are going to do that. It's going to get down to 30 seconds because every team, like, they always do that. It's like,
Just
we
in
know who
case.
you're taking.
Just in case they're going to get some this historic offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like, they say like the first like 20 minutes of a show is gonna be like ad free or something. Like actually the first 15 minutes of the draft is just gonna be full of ads.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get your ad dosage the first 15 minutes of the draft.
Chargers trade Justin Herbert and 3 firsts to the Bears for the #1 overall pick.
It'd be a Justin like RK. If we're gonna be stupid here, what does that trade look like?
That's what it would have to
I
be.
think it's Justin Herbert straight up.
For the #1.
Yeah, because Justin has to be better than Caleb right now because Justin's at least proven shit in the NFL.
Yeah.
But you're looking at having a way less salary cap hit, so I don't know if you give up picks, but at the same time, I don't know.
Yeah. No, that was
It
just
would
fucking
never
dumb.
happen, but let's talk about it. Waka waka.
Waka waka. All right.
Oh god, did it go off? I
Caleb
think it went
Williams.
off again.
The stream go off?
No, just the fucking draft things being stupid. There we go.
Oh.
All right, let's just get this going here. It'll come back on. If anybody's hanging out, I believe Ian's hanging out. So what's up, Ian? We won't be getting to the Niners for a second, so apologize about
little
that.
while.
Yeah, we have a second on that one. But let's just get through with the inevitable. Caleb Williams is going #1 overall. How disappointing, though, while we wait for Siglin to come back to reality and at least face the camera in some way, shape, or form.
Probably not happening.
Yeah. How do we feel about like what happened all with Justin Fields? Because I feel like that was very anticlimactic. Like you thought, oh, maybe he'll go somewhere, and then he ended up just going to back up Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh.
They
Yeah, it
fucked
was
that
very
one up.
anticlimactic, yeah.
They fucked that one up.
If they,
There we
didn't
go.
ask, if they didn't ask for such a huge ask at the beginning, they would actually got a decent pick for him. And I could have got a second.
Yep.
Yeah, they probably could have even like squeezed out like an early third or something. You know, someone was probably willing to take that risk. Like I imagine the Raiders were probably a little bit in before we just went out and signed Gardner Minshew.
I think it
You know?
also tells you a lot about like what these NFL execs actually think of Justin Fields. You know, it tells me that 32 teams look at him and don't think he's
Tells me
really starting material.
a black quarterback getting undervalued in the NFL. Tell me I haven't seen this one before. Well, but actually, he's only worth a 5th round pick.
Calm
Waka
down there,
waka.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yep.
All right,
Chill.
let's-
Slow down.
You want me
race,
to
baby.
pay what for that running back?
Oh, okay.
I'll
No,
give you 3 bushels of cotton and 4 barrels of hay and a 6th round pick for your quarterback who fucking ran for 1,000 yards last year. So, yep. Sorry, I'm not saying he's a top 10 quarterback, but like the 5th round pick is highway fucking robbery.
It was.
It always will be.
It really
so,
was.
But #2 here, this is where the conversation's really getting interesting, guys,
Yeah.
because I think let's take a roller coaster ride. So we're starting off, we're going up, and it's been Drake May at #2 overall for like the past year and a half. All of a sudden, the offseason comes, and we get a little bit of deep dives, and everybody's like, oh, maybe Jaden Daniels is better. So like kind of creeping towards that top, and then you take the Jaden Daniels ride, and it's almost he's a lock #2, right?
Yeah,
Now-
Adam Schefter telling Washington fans to go get their jerseys.
Yep,
and
go get your Jaden Daniels jerseys. You're good.
Yep.
You're good. Now it's seeming like Drake May is back in play. for
But
number
there's
2.
also a lot of rumor. Here's where I'm here's where I'm getting thrown around. I'm gonna tell my 2 cents. You guys take over, and then we'll figure out a consensus pick. I do not think Jaden Daniels is going number 2. I think that the way his agent's been acting on Twitter and the fallout from the recent top 30 meeting with him and all the other quarterbacks kind of spoke volumes about the relationship between him and Washington, and I think that they're going to go one of 2 options. I think I'm leaning towards Drake May, but it would not surprise me at all if we get a rug pulled out from under the league and J.J. McCarthy goes number 2 here as well, because there's been some heavy rumors of that as well. This could be a Baker Mayfield situation where everybody's like, wait, what? So
Except me.
All right, Siglin.
If I
Yeah,
had to
what
pick
is
right now, I'd have to say Drake May, but I do not want to rule out them just going out of left field and taking J.J. McCarthy right here.
where are you at, Rick, on this one?
I think this could be a Las Vegas Raiders go get your Jaden Daniels boy.
Not at this pick.
Well, because
Washington
of the-
isn't trading
because
out
of
of
the
2.
Washington weirdness. What you were just talking about. They might,
Well, they
But
may
Washington's
trade with-
picking a quarterback.
Yeah,
Like that's
next pick maybe, but this pick Washington is taking a quarterback.
Yeah,
I'd take Drake May if I was them, just because of the drama. But
yeah, this is where it starts in theory. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
this
yeah,
is gonna
if
be
we're
the trickle down effect that's going to affect the rest of the draft,
exactly
whatever
this is
Washington does.
This is the rock going in the water. All right,
Yep.
the ripples from there could be Raiders going up and getting Jaden Daniels, could possibly be, but this is the first move. I've mocked that so many times. I'm not gonna push for that here, but I do agree on the Drake May train here. Siglin, what is your pick before we make this and kind of move on?
I do believe that they go with Jaden Daniels still. He's just the best overall player, and with the receiving core that they're going to have, they're going to give him the weapons. And, yeah, he might not have liked the fact that they had other quarterbacks on his visit, but it's the NFL, and if they're going to take you and pay you that second overall pick money versus the third overall pick money, you're not going to say no.
Hot take, I want the quarterback who's pissed off. I want someone who's nasty like that, who's like, oh, you're going to bring other motherfuckers in here on my visit. Okay. I think his agent's probably screwing him a little bit more, but I do think Jaden's, from what I've understood personality-wise, is he's kind of got that chip. A lot of those Arizona State guys that were under AP, Brandon Ayuk, Rashad White, you kind of see a chip from them. And from what I understand personality-wise, Jaden's the same way. However, though, I think I'm going to agree with you, and we'll just go Drake May here, because right now that kind of – I agree with where Siglin's at. It'd be the smart move for the Commanders. Like, if I'm sitting here as Adam Peters, I'd still take Jaden Daniels. But right now, if we're kind of third eye viewing this, it's looking like Drake May,
Well,
right?
it also makes me wonder if the last couple months have just been Jaden Daniels smokescreen. Like they're still all in on May the whole time. They're just trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's be honest,
It's
a
not
team
always
that was known as the Redskins 3 years ago, they're going with the white guy over the black guy. So boom, there we go. Drake may lock it in. So you can change the boys, but you can't change the roots. All right, Washington, I still see you.
So
That's
is
just-
this, so is this either the bidding war between the Raiders and the Vikings for number 3 then?
So where I'm at is I think the Vikings are more likely to trade because I think their team is more in on everything. From what I understand as well, Antonio Pierce wants Jaden Daniels. He actually is on the team of either staying put or trading back, getting value. I think this team, you're looking a bigger risk trading up for Jaden Daniels if you're either team here. But what are you falling back on too? The Vikings are falling back on Sam Darnold, to where the Raiders have Aiden O'Connell, who showed promise, and Gardner Minshew, who's shown he can start in the NFL.
And they can still get Penix later on in the draft.
Exactly. So I think if we are talking a move, I'm going to remove the Raiders from this, and we got to start talking Vikings.
Let's let Siglin open up discussions on this one.
Yeah.
In this position, if Drake May goes number 2, Sig, what do you think is going to happen at 3?
Raiders. Raiders trade the farm for him. The owner is giving the GM the okay that if their player is available at his pick to go ahead and make a run at him.
And Telesco's been rumored to be the one who wants to go up. So GM trumps coach in that situation.
But your coach
Coach
still
wants him.
That
Well,
was-
yeah, and that's
that was
the
his
thing
high
is if
school-
if
it'll be
it's
the first time in the NFL that a coach will have coached a player in the high school level and at the NFL level.
and college.
You coached him in college too.
That's where he
Oh, yeah,
coached him.
Arizona.
That's where he coached him at is Arizona
I read
State.
it was high school.
Wait, was he at Long Beach Poly with him too?
That's what I
Oh.
read. Like he's like had him all the way since like high
kind
school.
of crazy.
Oh, Jack Jones he's had since high school. I think you're confusing, but
Now-
we'll fact check that. We'll get back to it here.
Just to play devil's advocate here, what if the Patriots want to go quarterback here?
I think they have so many more holes. Why not trade back?
I think this is the year that they don't have any expectations. They have a shot to go for one of the better players next year at either 1 or 2.
Yeah. I
Why
no,
not
they-
load
and
up
they could,
and
for
fill
sure.
some holes?
I agree.
And you still have Steve Belichick, who learned from his
You don't.
dad.
He's at Washington.
I thought
No, he's Washington's defense coordinator, University of Washington. University, the
He went to
Huskies.
college?
Yep.
Yeah.
How did
Yep.
I missed that.
Yeah, Bill Belichick's actually been creeping in on them boys. They lost Kalen DeBoer, but they got the greatest coach of all time, kind of going in with his hoodies, cut off hoodies and shorts at practice. So
Yeah.
And they've also said that they're not afraid to go at the season with Brissett. So
I wouldn't be either.
Yeah, Brissett's a serviceable.
Hated
quarterback.
on. He's this generation's Tyrod Taylor.
He is. I'm going to throw a second devil's advocate in here. I'm not saying that the Raiders won't trade up, but if you're
Jesus Christ, tell Lucy hi. Like God, you're like I'm gonna play devil's advocate for like the 7th time.
Right.
No,
if you're the Patriots, because let's not pretend like the Vikings aren't trying to trade into this spot too. If you're the Patriots and you can get 2 firsts this year versus 1 first this year, why are you accepting the Raiders offer over the Vikings realistically?
Unless the Raiders offer includes some like actual starting player.
I just think the Vikings are going to be more, or I think they'll be just as aggressive and have more to offer than the Raiders will. That's my big thing. I don't think the Raiders will be able
Would
to
it be
offer more
3
than the
firsts
Vikings.
then? Would it
So-
be like a Lance trade to get
Yeah,
move up?
it will. It will
Either-
absolutely be a Lance trade.
Either trade is looking. So the Vikings ideally would be what 11,
23,
11, 23 and a first next year, and then possibly they're talking about a conditional mid. It's like they're talking about like if whatever rookie they pick, possibly depending on playing time and such, a like 5th could turn to a 4th, 4th to a 3rd type thing. So you're talking 4th total picks. The Raiders would be the farm. The Raiders would be 3 firsts. You're talking probably a 2nd this year, and you're talking probably a late day 2, early day 3 pick in the
You
future.
don't think it would be a player? involved?
No, because we don't have anybody who's in that position right now. Hunter Renfrow got cut. We're not going to trade Jacoby Myers unless like we're making a shock move like Brandon Ayuk or something like
Yeah.
that. And even then, we'd still.
And you're
we
not
just-
going to trade Devontae Adams, and you're trying to rebuild this team.
It's for all the rumors. No one. Devontae's not going anywhere, and we just don't have anybody. Like you guys have PS2, who's like worth a lot, but also like the current regime's like, oh well, we might trade him. There's just no one who's like that on our roster is the hard part. And there's no one who makes economical sense for another team to take on. You know what I mean? But also, to the point they have that value of like a higher pick like that. There's just no one on our roster
So
like that.
I think we can all agree the Patriots are most likely to trade out of this pick. I just think it's who they're trading with that we might disagree on, because I think it's going to be the Vikings. You guys think it's going to be the
No,
Raiders?
I think the Vikings have, like you said, the 2 first rounders. That would be a no-brainer this year, and then they can rebuild faster. I say 3.
Who's got a quarter? Let's switch it here. Because we did give this to Sig, and Sig kind of called automatically the Raiders, and after we called Drake May last time. So
All right.
I'm slightly inclined to give it to him, but also I said I wasn't going to go hard on the Raiders. So if we can flip a coin for it, let's just
I
have
wanted
that
Sig's
determined.
opinion on the trade,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
I
Like,
honestly,
why would if you were the GM of the Patriots, why would you accept the Raiders offer over the Vikings if you could have 2 firsts this year instead of 1? If you're rebuilding,
essentially because next year's class is deeper, and if you were to give the Raiders have a less talented roster to put with the quarterback versus the Vikings, so you
I
would
disagree.
You're
talking overall roster. The only thing that
I'm
they have
talking
better is
I'm
Justin
talking-
Jefferson,
I'm
who's
talking
younger.
I mean, Jordan Addison showed to be a true fucking baller last year. They still
Jacoby
have,
Myers.
I think he's
They
implying that your record's going to be worse than
Yeah.
the Vikings, so their picks will be better next year.
That's fair. I'm just saying we have a way better defense. But anyways,
I don't disagree with that, but they also have an easier schedule.
So you think that the Patriots are going to value the Raiders picks more?
Next year.
if they're looking for future to build long term, you would try to send him to whatever team you believe he's going to struggle with more. You don't want to send a quarterback to a team that has all of those weapons ready to go. I mean, we've
even
seen
though they're
what
out
happens.
of his conference, you're keeping him in your conference if you send him to the Raiders.
That's
The Patriots and the Raiders have been known to make deals for years, years and years.
That's fair.
fair, and we still have.
I spoke my argument. I'm all right
So-
with whatever.
So what's the
I
trade?
mean, I could see it being the Vikings. Trust me, don't get me wrong, but
So I said let's get a quarter.
I think I think either way,
I'm saying the Raiders. Like, what's the?
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Let's figure out who we're gonna do. Like, let's flip a coin for it. Is it Vikings or is it Raiders? We
Let's
can
just
figure
make
the
it.
trade from there.
Who's heads,
But
who's
also,
tails?
if the Vikings
Heads,
don't make
Vikings,
the
tails,
trade
Raiders.
here,
Heads.
Heads, so it's Vikings.
I was gonna say if the Vikings don't make the trade here, I also see them trying to go for 4 to get JJ.
Yeah, 4 or 5, yeah.
I don't see the Raiders trying to go for JJ as hard
No,
as
they
they do
won't.
for
Hey.
Jaden Daniels. That's
You
the
know,
one
let's
thing
do
I'd
that.
say.
Let's keep the Raiders trading here, and then let's.
Yeah, that's actually
then
a
the
good point.
Vikings can.
That's
trade
like
up from
the
McCarthy.
one thing that I
With the Chargers.
would. That's like the one thing that I'm saying is like
Yeah.
they JJ with the Vikings would be the Raiders would be way more aggressive to get Jaden Daniels at that point than the Vikings would, because the Vikings could still fall back and get the guy that they really
Right.
want in JJ McCarthy.
I mean, you're doing 2 firsts and 2 seconds.
Well,
just to
so
make it
they,
easy. You can't do a third one.
they won't, and we're not getting out of the first round, so it doesn't really matter on this anyways. But we're gonna force this trade.
Yep.
Oh, look at that! I didn't even force it, and what I've been saying is gonna happen all along. Did.
So you get Jaden Daniels,
What the hell?
you get your boy. And
Don't get me wrong. I would love for this to happen. I just, in a world where I'm also comfortable living with Gardner Minshew,
Oh, yeah.
like
Serviceable as hell.
I'm not overwhelmingly pounding on the table to trade our future. You know what I mean? But I do love Jaden Daniels. I do think he would be our QB1 for the next 15 years, and he's a great
my
threat,
mock
so-
draft-
Cardinals sprint up to
My
the.
mock draft's messing up. I traded the Raiders into this, but it kept the Patriots here. Like, even if I select the Raiders again,
But also, personally, in my opinion, I think
like
the
their
Vikings
first
would be
round's gone.
stupid as fuck for trading up because
Can I
the
restart
player
it?
that they need will be available at 23.
Which player?
Michael Penix.
He won't be available at 23.
You put Michael Penix in that offense, tell me it's not weaponized.
Oh, he'll
They go
cook.
draft another receiver in the 2nd or 3rd round because there's a fuck ton of them.
So do we talk about where we are we going to have Harrison go here at 4 then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will go.
It's basically slotted that he's their next Marvin Harrison.
Unless they get an absolute just stupid offer. I've heard they wanted more than 3 first rounders.
I'll say in that scenario where
I mean,
you're
dude,
paying Kyler though.
He should be the number 1 player on the draft board. The team that should have selected him fucked up and didn't.
Who?
Chicago should have
Oh.
traded everything back to like 3 or 4. Let whoever get the quarterback that they wanted. Go and grab Marvin Harrison at 4. Go grab a tackle at 5 and let Justin Fields run that offense with all those new weapons.
Hot take. They're still in a better position. You're getting an undamaged Caleb Williams. The problem is the Bears have ruined Justin Fields to a point to where Caleb is now a better quarterback than Justin. Like, I liked the idea of them having all these
Disagree.
picks and everything like that. I think Justin is salvageable, but like
Yeah.
right now, if you're going to tell me watching game tape of Caleb his last year versus Justin last year, Justin's a better runner. Caleb's a better quarterback to throw around those receivers.
the biggest mistake the Bears have made this last year is not firing Matt Eberflus and getting a competent coach in there.
I agree.
So that's who's if anybody's
Hot take, I
gonna
don't
run
think
this team.
Eberflus is the worst. He's a defensive-minded coach, and he's turned that team around. The part that I hate is I think the problem was with our new offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy. I think that offense just wasn't gelling. The Bears have overachieved on defense the past couple of years, and that is thanks to Eberflus. I'll give him the flowers where the flowers are due. Like,
Vikings trade up 3 first rounders here then, or what?
with the Cardinals. No, the
No,
Cardinals.
we already took Harrison.
Oh,
that
did we?
possible?
Okay, sorry. I was.
You're good.
Braylon Allen under Isaiah Davis. I don't know. PFF's on crack.
How the
Hot take.
fuck is that possible?
Siglin's going. Don't
Sorry.
mind him. Don't mind
My
him.
brain hurts right now.
So getting us back on the track here. Are we trading the Vikings in at the Chargers
Yes.
here?
I think so.
My hot take is that the Chargers will stay put and take Joe Alt here, but that's my hot take. You
I
guys can
actually
do
think they
whatever
take Malik Neighbors.
you want. I don't think they're going wide receiver, man. I think that Harbaugh's going to build those trenches up.
Supposedly he was
Zach
told.
Thompson, where you at?
Supposedly he was told to buy a house in L.A. because
Why
the coach. He was house shopping in L.A. on his Snapchat and was like, "This looks like the perfect spot for me to be driving to
Well, if-
practice." And he's not going to the Rams. There's no way he's falling that far. But the only way that
Ian
they
said
don't,
to tell you to get off your damn phone.
I'm doing a mock draft. Get
We're doing a
fucked.
mock draft live.
I still have to do mine, so I have shit to compare with.
He's like, so I can study when you guys are halfway done with this mock draft.
Oh,
I
you
haven't really been
shut up.
participating. Yeah,
Anyway,
I need to study for the back half of this draft. When I ignored
kind
the
of
front half.
actually. I've had wedding stuff. I've been not as versed as I normally am in my normal years.
Well, you are always our most
I
successful
think
hitter,
this is
though.
J.J. McCarthy for the Vikings here, but
I honestly, if the Vikings were gonna trade, it would be the Giants.
That's who I have them trading with too.
So Joe Alt here, and then we wait one more. Or Malik Neighbors.
I have neighbors.
So here's my problem with Alt.
They have no fucking receivers.
Alt is a long time
one.
starting left tackle. They have Rashawn Slater. So the question is, do you move a guy who's always started at left tackle to right tackle as a rookie, or do you move your left tackle who you have paid a lot of fucking money to right tackle? When you already have Trey Pipkins too. Now I love that because Max Crosby eats that boy alive, but Trey Pipkins for most times is a respectable starting right tackle. So that's where I maybe don't see a tackle this high, but also wide receiver. That's where I kind of like a trade for them, is because I don't think Harbaugh, the need and the team's value of those positions isn't where a fifth pick is on either of them. Like they don't need tackle that bad, and I don't think they value receiver that bad.
I think the only way that they don't take receiver here is if they trade fucking Herbert, because Herbert's like Kyler Murray screaming in the GM's office every day. Where's my fucking
Justin
receivers
Herbert
at?
isn't.
Let me throw something out there, Sig. What if the Chargers? What if they pull a Texans? What if they trade back up again?
I don't.
Yeah, let's say the Vikings
Trade
up
up,
to here, and then they trade up to like 7 and get neighbors
or a Dunze at like 8 or 9 with the Bears
yeah,
or
that
Falcons. You know, I'm just saying.
I don't disagree with you. I see either neighbors here. I think either way, the Chargers stay put at 5, unless like this is where they trade, and then out of nowhere the Chargers go and select JJ McCarthy, and
Trade Herbert.
Harbaugh goes and starts his
Michigan 2.0
Michigan
team.
2.0 team.
It's fun to fantasy book. At the end of the day, I think they are looking at
I
moving
mean, did
back.
you see what
but-
CTE ESPN reported today?
Okay, let's not give them total credence. I like to follow it, but to not give them total credit here.
I mean,
But I will say this.
his sources have been pretty fucking tight.
Well, I will say this. Wanting to trade back, as I said to Rick, and actually being able to trade back are two totally different things. So saying that the Chargers move here because we're thinking of like a trade here at the Giants, the question is neighbors or Joe Alt?
I think if they stay there, they take neighbors.
Oh, definitely.
Neighbors. We'll give it to Sig and Rick here. We'll go neighbors.
It's what they need. They need a true number 1, and he's proven to be that guy.
right now the number 5 overall pick. Yeah. Wow. There's no favorite for this pick. That's how hard this one is to predict.
Yeah, well, because I think that's
Neighbors is technically the favorite at plus 230.
I think it's so hard because I think everyone's confused on what the Vikings are going to do is the problem.
They were talking about that this is the most unpredictable draft that we might have in years to come, because
Especially
we could
top
have
10.
you could have 4 quarterbacks go in the first round. You could have the top 10 not have a single defensive player go in the top 10.
I just got this feeling that JJ is just going to fall to the Vikings. I don't know.
They could break the record for receivers to go in the first round. Like in my
Yeah.
first original mock, I had 7 receivers going in the first round.
yeah.
So what if
Especially now that the Chiefs need one.
What if the Giants take Joe Alt here? Which if they stay there, I guess
They should.
And then the Titans are where the Vikings trade. Then the Vikings don't have to give up near as much to move from 11 to 7 instead of 11 to 5.
Love how the last 3 picks we've just moved the Vikings trade back.
I
and back
actually
and back.
see the
just-
Giants.
At a certain point, the
If the
Vikings just don't
Giants-
trade. I think if they don't do it here, you're not moving from 11 to 7. Hot take.
I personally don't. I personally think that if they don't make the trade in the top 4, they don't trade up, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with that because at a certain point, you're not giving up 3 firsts to move up 5 spots.
No.
I'm sorry, but I don't think if you're not getting Jaden Daniels or Drake May, which actually if the Vikings were going to trade it for anybody, I think it's Drake May. Because Josh McCown has worked the last 3 off seasons with Drake May, and that's their new quarterbacks coach is Josh McCown. So just on a personal connection, at this point, I would say maybe scrap the Vikings trade and just see if JJ falls. We'll see what happens.
Me personally, I would say Rome right here.
No, they need a line.
Their line is so bad.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think Alt for sure.
Jeez, what would you do if you were the Gettelmeister?
Fuck, that's tough. I mean, Sucklin's got a point because you got the.
There's so many other linemen that are ranked so much lower because of position need this year that would be ranked higher if it wasn't for where
That's kind of what
people need.
I'm thinking because you got you got Fontenot and you got God, what's his
What
name?
about
You got
Troy
Fosho,
Fatano,
you got
you
Troy
got-
Fatano, Talise Fakunga.
Yeah.
Well, what about this being the to get a Dunze.
That would be crazy.
Because I think they do trade up. I don't know if it's this far, but this is how far.
Well, and
this is
DeBall did come from Buffalo, so a little connection with the head coach there. You know what?
I also did see something that they're trying to keep it on as hush as they can, but they really want Brian Thomas.
The Bills? Well, and they could. I don't think he's going to be there at 28, but they could move up to like early 20s, teens instead of.
Isn't he like 23?
The Bills are 27, I think.
27 or 28, I think.
I thought they were like 23 or
28.
24. 28.
So this pick, what do we all think here? Siglin?
I mean,
I think Alt, but I don't know.
I don't think they go lineman. I think either, like you said, the trade happens here and someone grabs Rome, or I think they grab Rome. Also, the reports was when they had Rome in on their top 10 visit, he absolutely blew the building out. Like, they were impressed and loved him. And if you really want to try to give Daniel Jones one more shot, one more year to make it work, why not give him a number one? Because he does not have one of those.
He's never had one.
Exactly.
Jeez.
Giants shock the world and take Brock Bowers.
When they already have Daniel Bellinger and Darren Waller. I know. That'd be crazy.
It would make my day because
I've been on the Joe All. I think the Giants should draft. Once again, they're a team that too many holes and there's depth in the wide receiver class. So yeah, getting him a true number one, I agree, is for Daniel Jones is something, but also protecting him is something he hasn't had. But also then you counter that with, do they have buyer's remorse from Evan Neal and they don't want to take a top top six lineman again?
Saw something about like you will see a lot of teams be very skeptical about taking a first round lineman because in the last 3 years the second and third rounds have been out producing the first rounds except for like a few outliers. Like Darisaw and Slater, obviously.
Hell, they could even go Brock Bowers here. I won't even rule that out.
I would. Darren Waller's still technically there and they like Bellinger as a backup. I don't think they go tight end this early.
What's the consensus here?
I'd say I actually he flipped me. I think I might go with Dunze.
So you go back to back receivers, and then
it's a drop for receivers.
Then it's a huge drop, yeah. Because then the next one's Brian Thomas, right?
Yeah, probably in the mid-teens. See
Yeah.
Buffalo maybe trading up at some point.
So let's just say we do Rome here then,
Rome?
and then
I think Joe Alt has to
this
go
goes-
here.
this goes
They
Joe Alt,
called
yeah.
this game the Joe Alt Bowl when they played.
Yeah, this is Joe. This
is Joe Alt.
If Joe Alt's here, it's a slam dunk. I think this is the trade spot here for.
I don't think it's
I
Atlanta.
actually think
It's
they
not
take.
Atlanta. It's
I
not
actually think
Atlanta.
they take Quinion.
Hang on.
I think they take Quinion here.
Hang tight. What, Tennessee took Joe Alt?
Yep. Tennessee took Joe Alt.
So I hate this. This is not the way I want the draft to go because I know what's going to happen if this plays out.
Denver's trading up.
Fucking Denver's going to trade up to 8 right here and take JJ. I fucking know they are. And I don't want it.
I
Once
actually
again,
don't
guys,
believe so.
Falcons have been rumored to BPA. Is to stay put. I think if we're looking trade, we're looking the next two picks respectfully. But
So who's
just my thoughts.
Who's best player available here then?
I think
on
they
their
take
board,
Quinion.
on their board, it's a toss up between Quinion or Dallas
I
Turner.
think they take Dallas Turner.
I would go Dallas Turner as well. They
If
need more
they
line,
are-
and they need
if
more
they're
help on
gonna
the
stay, I
line
think they
there.
take Dallas Turner.
I also think they need more of an interior than an edge, though.
That's a fair point. Also, do they have
So-
any edges that can play?
They have
But
Grady.
Trezon Newton's not
They have
if I
Grady
remember.
Jarrett.
That's true.
They have Grady Jarrett. They have one of the top 5 interior run stopping defenders in the league.
3-4 or 4-3. I don't remember.
The one
For,
thing
mixed
that I'm
system.
saying is like, usually it says ED if they want like an edge. That's just.
Well, I also don't trust PFF 100%.
PFF's kind of dumb.
I feel
They
you.
have
No,
Dallas Turner.
I
but,
personally think
like,
that they
right-
take the Quinion Mitchell, or this is where everyone could shock the world, and a lot of people are already buying Cooper DeJean number jerseys for Atlanta because a lot of people want them to take him for whatever reason.
I think if it's a corner, it's Mitchell. But I think they take.
I'm locking in Dallas Turner. That's where I'm at.
I think Dallas Turner is the way to go here.
Me too. Sorry,
I
Sam.
don't disagree with you. I personally think he falls to Seattle.
I don't know if he falls that far. I think they have to move
I
up.
think Seattle has to move up to get him.
All right, who moves up to? Who moves
This
up
is
to
where
9?
Cincinnati.
Now that Neighbors
This is
and-
where Cincinnati trades up with the Bears to get in front of the Jets so they can grab Brock Bowers.
I've done that like 7 times in my mock drafts, actually.
All right, Sig, you haven't called your trade yet. Is that what you want to call your trade?
Sure.
All right,
Bengals.
so
The Bears
it's
need is they don't have any picks after there's.
They have like no second rounds.
So they
'cause
probably-
traded
or fourth or
because they traded them all away.
Look at
So-
that. They have no picks. After.
So if you're going down from 9 to 18, you're probably, and I don't think they'll get a second, but I do think they'll get a combination of like this
They're
comp
gonna
pick.
get T
Higgins.
Higgins.
Ooh, that's too much.
No, they would
Yeah.
not give him
They
up
don't
T
need
Higgins.
T Higgins though.
T Higgins was also on Twitch saying that he plans on playing with the Bengals this season and seeing what
Like,
happens.
you don't think they'd have
the
to give up a
next-
second rounder?
You
I think
guys
they
don't
give
see a
up-
world where T Higgins is involved in this trade because the Bengals can't fucking afford to pay him.
Sorry, I'm not. I'm saying the Bengals.
The Bears don't
Bears
ha-
need him. Is what I'm saying.
I was about to say full stop. Bears don't need him. Why are
just
you
traded
Why are
for-
you trading all of that
Oh, yeah,
for
they have Cole-
another
They
wide
have
receiver?
they have too
one?
many wide receivers. They
another
try to
wide
inherit.
receiver
They try to
one.
inherit a second or a third
They
round
didn't
pick
trade
here,
for
and
Keenan
if they're
Allen.
smart, they try to get Brendan Rice to pair up with
That's true.
for
Okay.
it to be his third receiver.
Let's say this. One of the trades we could possibly mock is a T Higgins trade. Because I think if they're moving up for Brock Bowers here, they're getting rid of Higgins. And my hot take has been since the beginning, if Higgins moves, it's draft night. I think
So,
if T
but
Higgins
where,
moves,
though?
it's draft night. Buffalo's one. I don't know if Buffalo's going to pay a huge price after just getting rid of one, and they already have Diggs on the books. There's I feel like a couple of different teams too. New England all of a sudden
I
has
was gonna
draft
say New England
capital.
has a ton of draft capital.
Yeah, they all of a sudden have draft capital.
I mean, it's basically just been rumored that if no one gets in front of the Jets are taking Bowers.
So the Bengals.
Cincinnati has Bowers as the number one player on their draft board,
I
and
know
the
the-
only way that they can get Bowers is if they get ahead of the Jets. They've been calling for the last 2 weeks to try to figure out how they can get ahead of the Jets.
You don't think that's give them a second rounder, Cole?
I think
Wouldn't it be 18 and 49?
I think it'd be something like that because they need a second rounder. They don't have any
My-
other picks.
I think the Bears.
My only thing is the Bears would take a third and maybe like a fifth
Yeah.
over
I,
that
actually
because
don't
they
disagree.
only have four. Look at them. They only have four.
I have,
picks.
I have 1880 and 115. That's what I was thinking. But
1880 and 115.
Yeah, that's probably all right. That way they.
Yeah,
can
I think
fill-
that's a good
they
trade.
fill in their- well, look at that. It fills in all the gaps that the Bears don't have too.
Yep. Yeah, they get 3 picks. You
Yeah,
know,
I
they
like
they
it.
they don't they don't pick at 75 and 80, so they'll have close picks there.
And they can use that to move up in the second round. If they need to.
And then they'll probably use one of their picks to trade back regardless, and get some late day threes. So, but
All right, let's do that one. And Brock Bowers there, and
So-
then I think the Jets trade back.
this is where it might get saucy.
I think the Jet. This is. I know it's not gonna be
Is
Bills.
somebody going to try to jump the Vikings to get JJ?
That's what I was thinking.
Or or will the Vikings trade both 11 and 23 just to move up one spot to
No.
guarantee they get JJ?
no.
The Denver
No.
Broncos.
I think the Vikings at this point, if it's not Jaden or Drake, from what I've understood from the Vikings, and I haven't been like super following insiders, but I've checked here and there, and from what it seems like is it's the Vikings are like a lot of us. There's the top 3, which they're probably not going to get 2 of those guys. They're not going to get one of them,
Right.
but they're probably not going to get Daniels or May, and then it's the next group.
Your
So
next
why would
3.
you pay for JJ McCarthy when you can get Bo Nix or Michael Penix for free or
Yep.
for your first?
This would be insane if they get to stay at 11 and still get their guy, get the next guy, right? Not the trade.
But
I think it
doesn't
could
that sound
potentially happen.
exactly how drafts actually end up going after all these mocks? Like that's just
Yeah.
exactly what that ends
the
up.
Jets have no picks. They need a second. I think the Jets would trade back here because their 2 guys aren't here.
Yeah.
I think, but who though is the problem?
Trade back Burleson.
How about
Fucking the Patriots could trade up 4 spots and still get JJ McCarthy.
that's actually I was just thinking that's the one team that's not the Broncos that could trade back up.
You're not trading it in division.
Right, that's the problem.
Yeah, not after the
Vikings and
Patriots.
The Vikings and the Lions do.
true.
Man.
Plus, after the last
I
time the
didn't- I
Patriots
didn't
got
think
a
You
about it.
motherfuckers
Michigan
signaling
quarterback.
Oh, I was gonna say. I thought he was gonna take my point. Sorry. I was gonna say, especially after the Patriots literally swapped with the Steelers last year
Just
to
to
motherfuck
fuck
the
the
Jets.
Jets.
Yeah, sorry. I thought that you were stealing my point. I'm like, God damn it, Sagan! If you interrupt,
I
me
was
and
more or
steal what
less
say."
I was more or less gonna make the saying that the Jets probably don't want the
I didn't think
Patriots to
about
have
the
another
division thing. I
Michigan
wasn't thinking
quarterback.
about
I was neither.
It's not true with everybody. Like the NFC North, for some reason, has shown that they'll trade with each other. But when we're talking Bills, Patriots, Jets,
Yeah.
that's not happening.
So
Or not many
if the
first
Jets
rounds that'll
stay
happen.
here-
They're gonna go tackle.
If the Jets stay here, do you think they go tackle, or do you think they like we talked about earlier? They filled their tackle needs at least for this year. Why not go? I mean, what do they need besides?
They
that
shouldn't
slam
need a
dunk?
wide receiver because they got Michael
They'd go
Williams.
to Lisa Fuaga if they stayed here.
Just because the only reason I'm going to say no on that is because they just paid Morgan Moses. Like, I think it was like 3 years, like 45. Like, they just paid him top 10 right tackle money. So that's my only question is, like,
I could see them going Byron Murphy here.
if you take a tackle, it's Fashanu, and he's sitting a year behind Tyron Smith, and then possibly replacing him if he gets hurt.
I think the Jets have such a short window with Rodgers. They want someone who can make a difference this year.
I was going to say a wide receiver could be also at play. Just fucking stack up.
I
Because
think
their
they
defense wasn't bad last year. Like, it wasn't bad by any means.
Question here. This just came up on the PFF trades. What about the Rams coming up to take Jerzon Newton or Byron Murphy
I would
right
say
here?
Murphy, not Zerzan, but yeah.
I actually have Jerzon Newton falling to them. I was like,
Yeah.
they got rid of Aaron Donald. Why
I don't
not get
think-
the next one?
I don't think the Rams are going to trade up here.
No.
What about
Eagles
They can't afford to lose
Eagles
any
for
more
Quinion
draft cap.
Mitchell.
I think that's the one that makes a lot of sense.
Not
Or-
here though, but they can.
Why not
he,
here?
He wants the Broncos to trade back at 12.
Because I think that Quinny Mitchell will be there at 12, and I really do think the Broncos are going to trade back. Quinny Mitchell's not going to go here
Well,
or 11.
Jason, I understand, but why can't the trade happen at 10? I know you want the trade to happen at 12, but
I'm just saying it's
Yeah.
not realistic.
He's saying that no one's going
For
to take
the-
a corner. He's saying no one's going to take a corner at 11 or 12 is what he's saying, right?
Like, why would the Eagles trade up here when they know that the Jets aren't going to take him?
Well,
When they
it's-
know that the Vikings aren't going to take him. So why would they trade up right here?
Honestly, I don't see the Eagles.
know.
I don't see the Eagles trading up because I think Nate Wiggins is going to fall right into their laps.
Nate's a dog. They got some good corners in this draft.
So a weird one here because Lyman, there's so many good ones here, but the Saints need a tackle, right?
Saints need a quarterback.
No,
They
Carr.
paid Derek Carr
They paid-
$100 million, yeah.
yeah,
They might need a quarterback, but they ain't getting one.
yeah. What about this? A small. What about the
Troy wouldn't be bad.
mhm.
Troy wouldn't be bad.
Troy Fontenot. Well, he's got flexibility. Could
Well,
probably.
the Jets need need more than just this pick because they don't have a second. They need kind of like the Bears conversation. They need a.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking a trade back would be something because we only have 2 trades so
I'm
far.
going to be honest.
I just don't see it, to be
Denver's
completely
gonna
honest.
Trade right here in real life if
I
this
know.
happens.
He's
I
gonna
fucking
ruin
know
it. Denver trades ahead of Minnesota and gets
It's
McCarthy.
going to fucking happen.
All right, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's just get crazy,
I
guys.
don't want it to happen, but it's going to fucking happen.
Okay, so
no,
what are we talking here? Because you guys
only
don't
2
have a
spots.
second
Is
too.
Denver
So-
big on McCarthy? I haven't read
Yeah.
anything about
No,
that.
Yeah.
I've read Sean Payton actually.
Is
He
very
thinks
big on
he's,
McCarthy.
He thinks he's the breeze because he's the accurate and really very smart and all that.
I
stuff.
hope he just gets in the NFL
So
and is just
here's
dog
what I
shit.
think is going to happen, and I
Don't worry.
I know
Jason's gonna use his trade on something that pisses him off. Like
Just,
it
just,
is,
just
yeah.
take a little breath.
So
You'll
we're
be
gonna
alright.
we're gonna
you love
send
making yourself mad.
we're in a contract dispute with Cortland Sutton. We're gonna send Sutton and the 12 for the 10, the 72, the 10 and the 72. Yeah,
Say that
so
again.
we need a day 2 pick too. We don't have any
I-
second picks this year.
I fuck with that actually.
Hold on. You're saying
That's
that the Jets
Cortland
would give a pick
Sutton.
back too?
Damn, you
Well,
guys
yeah,
are gonna
because
build a
Cortland
whole
Sutton-
new receiving core.
Sutton. So Sutton's been rumored to demand a first or a second right now from the Broncos because of the contract demands. Now they're saying no trade, but how often do we trust that with GMs? No, I actually, now that you bring this up, I fuck with this because the Jets can't. You said they were looking for a second. Well, fuck that. If they can get a guy an experienced high level 2 to go with Garrett Wilson, who has the ceiling of a 1, but maybe just kind of needs to grow into them shoes a little bit.
I like it.
I think this is a great trade.
And Mike Williams isn't an every down receiver.
And you don't have to give up a ton to. And then you don't have to worry about that contract anymore too.
Well, and they only
Honestly,
signed
hear me
Mike
out.
Williams to
Mike
a
Williams
1-year deal.
converts to a tight end.
That's okay. That's a little.
So are we
Out
going with
there,
this
but
here
yeah.
for JJ? Let's get frisky, boys.
Just to, I like how he did the one thing he didn't want to do.
Everybody get frisky in
And then the
here.
Vikings.
I'm Mr. Bulldogs.
Hold on a second though. I don't think if this happens, I don't think the Vikings. I think the
They're going
Vikings wait.
quarterback.
I think
No,
they
they're
wait.
going quarterback, Rick.
I actually
Shut
think
up.
they go defense here.
Shut up, Rick.
I'm
Squirt bottle.
honestly- I think if JJ's not here, if this happens, I think that
They wait and see which one
wait.
gets taken first out of Penix and Bo Nix.
if they have to trade back up from 23, they will.
Okay, so they go defense then.
I think so. They need a cornerback. I
They
think
need-
this is where your
Ooh, Quinton
Quinion
Mitchell.
goes.
That could be it.
Cooper DeJean's just too perfect, though. I was right downstairs. Like,
I was right downstairs.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think Cooper DeJean is gonna fall. I don't want him to, but he's going to.
Yeah.
Just because of the
well, the problem is I also think Cooper's a safety at best. Like, at his best position. He's a good cornerback, but I think he's got better game and ball
This
skills.
is why I don't trust PFF. They're saying that Minnesota needs a tight end. Like, that's kind of stupid. They literally have TJ Hawkins.
Yeah.
They have a top 5 tight
he
end.
probably won't be
So-
back till like week 6 or so though.
So now that
I know, but you're not.
I honestly still think
They said it says that that's their second top need. It's like, no, it's not.
I still think the Jets could trade back again here, but or they go
They
like
could also
What
go.
about them taking Cooper DeJean and converting him to safety?
the Jets.
Yeah, they need a safety.
Yeah.
They also need defensive interior.
who did we
so
draft for the Vikings?
Quinny Mitchell.
Mitchell. Okay, perfect. I was
Oh,
like,
sorry. Yeah.
I think if this is the way it plays out, I don't think the Cowboys trade up, but they need linemen.
I don't think the
desperately.
Cowboys trade up. Period.
No.
To be honest
Jerry's
with
got
you.
to go all in for something.
Well, but at this, okay,
Not-
let's look at this realistically, Rick. Okay, first in all in my ass. All right, yeah, all in my ass. Strongest comma in history.
You need a comma.
At this point, though, where Foshnu isn't even taken at 12, you're fine with Graham Barton, Amirius
You're
Mims,
saying just sit back.
Yeah.
and
yeah,
wait.
Yeah.
Tyler Guyton.
Yeah.
You're from Oklahoma. Like you're sitting back and you're just taking best tackle available.
I actually,
BTA.
I think if the Jets stay here, they would take a D tackle. Actually, not this. Either.
So I am team Jerzon Newton over Byron Murphy. I think Newton's been my number one guy since last year. He would have been a top 3 defensive interior guy last year for me.
Yeah. I personally agree, but I know the league doesn't agree with that.
I
was
know,
gonna
but
say, but-
Byron Murphy's the riser. He's the riser, and
I
he
was
played
gonna
at
say,
Texas.
Like a month ago, these numbers were flipped on these two guys, like on the average draft spot.
Yeah, Newton was top 10, and
Yeah, like he was supposed to go like maybe the Jets at 10 or even the Bears at 9. You know?
the problem is, though, is if you're looking at stock, Newton had a much better junior year than senior year.
Sure.
He was double teamed a lot, and so if you're looking at the PFF, you're looking at the game tape, he just did not produce as well, but he still produced great. The problem is Byron Murphy was literally the best defensive tackle in the country this year, so recency bias, you got to go with him.
I still think they're going to go offensive tackle here, but that's just where I'm.
Siglin, what do you think?
I think their biggest focus right now is just protecting Aaron Rodgers.
I know, but that's why they
do they
signed
need a guard?
Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses.
They don't need a guard, do they?
No, they have Vera Tucker, and they signed a guy for right guard. The only thing I can maybe see is if they have a later pick trying to go center, but they don't go like Austin Powers Johnson this early.
That's true.
Or Jackson Powers Johnson this
Austin
early.
Powers Johnson. I was
No,
like,
that's his
wait,
new name.
what?
That's his new name.
I could see Byron Murphy going here.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. The shotgun snap.
I was just thinking if they go, his point about the tackle is if they needed a guard, just put the tackle in at guard for a year and then have him go to tackle next year for when Tyron retires.
So it'll be like Fotnu then? Because he's got that versatility.
That doesn't say that. Get the most versatile guy is what I was thinking, but that's
All right.
just
I'll trust you guys here. We're going to go tackle. Good.
Troy Fotnu.
yeah.
All right. Now down to the
Quarterback.
Inflatriots.
I think now they can take quarterback.
I still think if they're not going at 3,
They're waiting till
riding,
next year.
They're riding
what are
Brissett.
their needs?
I think we
They need a
sold the
wide
train.
receiver bad.
It's a
they
little
need
early for
tackle.
Thomas, though, isn't it? It's a little early for Brian.
I think
Thomas,
this is.
like.
I think this is where Latu goes, but
So
He seems like a Patriot. He's very polished already. Like
Yeah.
honestly, if it wasn't for the neck, he's a top 5 pick.
and you know
If it
look
wasn't
at,
neck and age.
and look at who they have for their head coach.
Yeah, Gerard Mayo.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
gonna get him a
defense.
new
I was gonna say they're
defensive
gonna go
quarterback.
defense, yeah.
Defense, and wait, what's that flying in the sky? Oh wait, defense.
Unless this would be the T Higgins spot, but that'd be the only other.
No, not this. Not right here.
Saints. I think this is tackle. Fuagu maybe.
No, they have Ryan Ramczyk.
Didn't he hurt?
Did we go Latu for Patriots?
Yeah, we did. Yep,
Okay.
Latu at 13 for the Patriots. 14. This is where this really gets interesting because I've heard rumors of Bo Nix.
I've heard
Here.
a lot of rumors of Bo Nix here.
I don't think they go quarterback. You have too much money invested in Carr, whether it's working out or not.
Nope, he is free and clear after this year. Free and clear.
I don't think that they let it. I think they'll make it work, but we'll see.
I honestly see him going Bo Nix and then trying to get a receiver in the second round. Unless they were to change the whole game up and grab Byron Murphy here.
Foshnu isn't a bad pick either, just because they do need a left tackle.
I think the Saints know that they can get Bo Nix later in the draft. I think this is too much of a reach for Bo Nix.
I
but
agree. At
I
14.
think a
I
lot
think
of
if
people.
J.J.
I think
McCarthy
the
falls
one
to
thing
10,
though on
Bo
why
Nix
a lot of
isn't gonna go
quarterbacks will
14.
go in the first round this year is that 5th year of control. Like there's even talks about someone trading up to 31 or 32
That's what I'm
just
saying.
to get
I'm
Spencer
just saying-
Rattler, so you have that extra year.
I think if I'm the Saints,
Malik Willis.
I know I can probably trade back into because what do the Saints have for picks right now? They got Denver's second rounder, which is an early second.
And they're not picking until like the late 4th, early 5th.
They got 150. So I mean, they have the ammo to trade back up at the end of the first. So I just don't think. I think that if JJ falls to 10, there's no way Bo Nix is going at 14. You know what I'm saying? It
I
just
agree.
doesn't make sense.
I agree.
They need D line too, right? The Saints.
I would say Drizon Newton makes a lot of sense here too, or Byron Murphy, one or the other. But I think if we're looking the trends, maybe Byron Murphy goes first.
Yeah, I agree. I think they go D line here and then solidify because they need to build that defense.
Yeah.
Too.
Byron Murphy at 14.
What Sig? It's your team. buddy.
Hot take here, real fast.
This is where Brian Thomas goes.
I was gonna say a receiver, but I was gonna actually go with one in the NFL already because you have a rookie quarterback.
T.
T.
Higgins.
Higgins. Ooh.
Siglin's hard knowing that.
Hard no. Okay,
Why
it's
is-
your
why-
team.
why-
Your
hold
team.
on, why
Your
is that?
team.
Tell me.
Why? Because you only have Michael Pittman there.
I'm asking him why. Why not Higgins?
Because Ballard has been known to love to build through the draft.
Well, yeah, every GM says that and likes to do that if possible, but
Well, I think
Terry and Arnold goes here.
I was gonna say corner.
yeah, if not, it's
Arnold or
if it's
Deshaun.
if
I
not,
was
it's
going to
corner.
say it's the most mocks for the longest time until Keon Coleman had his horrible combine. It was Keon Coleman here or Quinnen Mitchell. But I think now with Brian Thomas showing out, that 4.38, 6.4 speed, put him on the other side, let Josh Downs actually play a true slot, and then bring Alec Pearson when we need a fourth or one of the other guys needs a breather. It's win-win.
So you think Brian Thomas goes here?
Yeah, I think we go receiver one way or another. They want to give Anthony Richardson as many
right.
weapons as possible.
We're going Brian Thomas. I'll let Sig pick for his team.
Supposedly, Jelani Woods is going to be coming off of the practice squad and getting a lot of reps for this offseason.
I told
too.
you, Johnny Woods is nice. That boy's a freak. He needed a year to learn for a sec, but he's going to be a monster.
They just stashed him.
Seahawks. Do we go line or do we like edge?
I like the trade because that's what they always do.
The Seahawks are.
I'd actually like Talise Fuga here. Especially,
They don't need a tackle.
can't he move around though?
No, he's 6'6", 350. Like, he's a right tackle. That's it. He is a right tackle. Like, by complete definition, he's a right tackle. So, yeah.
So is this where they grab Faucho?
I think the Seahawks trade out of this
I
pick too.
do too. I think.
I'm gonna. I
but
would almost
who's
bet
worth
money
trading up
Michael
for
Penix
here?
is going to be wearing a Seahawks jersey next year. But
So
I actually don't think so now. They traded Sam Howell. Geno Smith doesn't do well in the
Yeah,
next
just trade for Sam Howell.
5-6 games. I think
Sam
Sam
Howell's
Howell
not a
takes over the show.
franchise quarterback though.
He was in
Threw
Washington.
for
Let's give him a-
4,000
yeah,
yards and
let's-
was the
let's-
most sacked quarterback in the NFL last
I was
year.
about to say, yeah.
And I mean, hey, I was. You can ask Cole. I was a fucking Sam Howell truther. Okay, I
Not
traded
as
for him
much
in my
as I
dynasty.
was.
Siglin's
I love Sam
still on
Howell.
that fucking trade.
But
didn't you say
Should have been the first
Rams?
quarterback taken that year.
I agree.
Rams would be a good trade up. Once again, we could still. Let's not rule out Xavier Worthy really jumping up and someone
Well, the
possibly. Yeah, the Bills really liking someone like a Xavier
Bills?
Worthy.
Well, and let's
If-
be honest. Now the Chiefs probably need a wide receiver even more so now.
It's either him or Troy Franklin to the Chiefs.
Rasheed Rice is getting 4 to 6 games, and he'll be back. It's fine.
They still need another receiver.
They still need a receiver.
Well, yeah, I
anyway,
agree.
But now they want even more.
I just don't know if they're trade up anymore now that they got Hollywood. It might just be once again in this class like a sit and wait, but the Bills could be a trade up team. Do we look at a Bills trade here?
To jump up 12 spots, I don't see. The other thing that I will say,
Unless
though,
they're trying to get
is
like
you
a
guys
Donnie
are thinking
Mitchell,
on the
but yeah.
Seahawks old regime. This is a whole new GM,
You're right,
whole
you're
new
right.
coaching staff. Like, I think that it's not Greg Norman, but whoever from the Baltimore, I think he's going to take either a defensive player or he's going to take a tackle so he can potentially protect his quarterback a little
So
more.
I could see defensive interior edge. So edge right now,
Is there?
it's either Jared Verse or Chop Robinson.
Is there
I'm
a
gonna guess.
team in the next 5 picks that really needs a corner that would trade up with Seattle right here to get Terry Arnold? Because I could see that.
I think
happening.
the Jaguars do, but they're maybe the team that jumps. The Eagles
Eagles.
would be one. Actually, corner. This is probably where an Eagles move would happen. Now that I'm looking at this, because you have the Jaguars looking at corner. The Rams could use a corner on top of defensive presence. The Steelers could use a second corner across from Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah, I think the two Eagles.
The Dolphins just got rid of like Xavier Howard and those guys, so like they could use a corner. So yeah, maybe we mock in.
But the Dolphins also drafted like a lot of defense over the last 2 years that Mike McDaniels has been there. I think that's also one of the reasons that he's willing to let go of some of those guys.
Like Christian Wilkins. Where do we
That
go
was a
here?
good
So first and a second for a first and a fourth back
Sounds about right.
for six spots. Bang, and then we're gonna go Cooper or Terry, and I like Terry and Arnold better as a pure
There
corner.
you go, Terry and Arnold here.
Yeah.
Cooper will fall as much as I hate to say it. Whoever gets him, he'll be a steal, but he's going to fall.
All right, going to Duval. Where are we going, boys? Now we're starting to see a Talise Fuaga
We
fall
need
here.
an edge here.
Jared Verse.
I actually wouldn't hate that.
I could see Jared Verse going. He's one of the best all-around edges. Thinking Jared
Stays
Verse.
in Florida.
Yep. Let's do it.
Now the Bears trade back and still could get Jerzon Newton, someone they would have probably taken at 9.
Nope, they grab
Stays in
Ole.
Illinois. What's up?
They grab Ole.
But who's their left tackle? I thought they just drafted a guy. They drafted Darnell Wright last year.
Yeah, they have tackle.
I feel like you could move Ole.
I think they'll trade back down. I think somebody will trade up for Talise right here. He's
Why
falling.
wouldn't? But my thing is, why wouldn't they take him? They need a right tackle. Darnell Wright plays left.
That's
like
fair.
Fuaga is a better classic right tackle. Like Foshnu played left his whole career. You'd have to make the switch to where Fuaga is already there. So I think Talise Fuaga is the guy they could have grabbed at 9, and then you're going to grab here at 13 or at not 13, 18.
What do you think, Sig?
I don't disagree with that. I mean,
Yeah. Plus we're going to lose Jay soon, so I'm just trying to.
Also,
No, you're
the-
good. You don't have to rush, dude.
also the other thing that they could do is Jerzon here.
I think they take D end. T tackle, excuse me.
The Bears do.
They could. Especially if they're falling this low. I mean, they add another defensive player. You got to remember, you still have a defensive-minded coach for another year.
Well, I think they'll do good enough this year that he probably won't lose his job, but
So Jerzon Newton is where we're going.
I could see it.
I think so.
All right.
And then the Rams cry because that's the one they needed.
Yep.
Do they need tackle or offensive
Yeah.
line too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need both. So Foshnu or Fuaga here.
Fuaga.
I see him going Fosh.
You guys said Fuaga or?
I said Fuaga.
That's kind of a
And Foshnu was he was LT1 for a long time, like above Joe Alt.
Which tackle do they need more, though, or they need both?
I don't think they really haven't had anybody since Whitworth retired on the left side. And left is more important than right, especially when you already have a righty at
I would say
quarterback.
take the
Yeah.
left then.
So Ollie.
Ole, and then I think the Steelers could be Fuaga. They need a right tackle.
Okay.
I
I
think
think
either
this-
Fuaga or
And then
the
we start-
center.
I honestly think this is
Danny
where
Mitchell.
the Steelers shock you and they go with Donnie Mitchell. They want a receiver. They've been trying to trade to get another viable piece next to Pickens. They got rid of Deontay Johnson, so they don't have anyone there.
Who did Deontay go to?
Panthers.
That's right.
Just go waste the rest
I
of his
think
career.
this is where they go with Donnie right here. to be
At
com-
night, or do they go with Xavier Worthy?
I think they go Adonai. 6'4". He tested out of the combine, and like you said, most NFL teams are going to know what
Or
to
do
do.
the Bills trade up here and get Adonai?
I could see that one too. I think the Bills are more likely to go for a receiver.
Don't the
trade up.
Steelers needed a center too, don't they?
Yeah, Jackson. Well, that's the thing though, is if they trade back with the Bills, Jackson Powers Johnson is possibly
Yeah.
still available there.
So let's say the Bills trade up for a receiver here.
And what's their picks looking like? Pittsburgh first, second. I mean, they got all their picks.
To move up from 28 to 20 would be what, a first, third, and a fifth or some shit? Or is that too much? No, they wouldn't have to give up a second to go from 28.
First, fourth.
Sixth.
Yeah, we'll say a 6th. Boom. Banana, banana.
But who they trading? Or who they
Adonai
drafting?
Mitchell.
6'4" stud.
What
Dolphins.
do the Dolphins
Funga.
Yeah, Fuaga I think makes
Yeah,
sense. They need
absolutely
line.
right here.
And now it's the Seahawks from which we traded
do?
back.
Eagles pick, yeah. I think they could take.
They
the
could go
center,
J.C.
too.
Latham right here.
They don't need a tackle sig. They got their tackles 2 years ago.
They need
They got
guard-
Charles
they
Cross
need
and
interior
Abraham
offensive
Lucas.
line.
Yeah.
They
So I
could
think-
take they could take Jackson actually. I know we just talked about the Steelers doing that, but
What about edge defender?
um,
Because there's a couple guys who are low on PFF's board, but I do think end up getting first round consideration. Chop Robinson's the big one for me, but
I was
I
going
think
to
he
say
slips
they
to the
could
top of
also
the
go
second.
linebacker because they just lost their quarterback of their defense last year.
Bobby Wagner.
It's a little.
Ooh,
Well,
is
they
this-
lost Bobby Wagner and
I
they
think-
lost Jordan Brooks.
I think Peyton Wilson goes round 1. That's my hot
I
take.
think he goes. I do too, but I think he goes later.
So we're 22. This is late
Yeah.
first round. Like this is where I think the value between 22 and 32 is just on team need. I would propose Peyton Wilson as a shocker.
I could see it.
Defensive minded coach coming from Baltimore, where literally they had a linebacker one in Patrick Queen, and they still traded for one in Roquan Smith. You know,
Yeah,
What do you think, Jace?
I'm up for whatever.
Yeah,
Peyton Wilson.
Yep.
Now here's the second Vikings pick.
Michael
Quarterback.
Penix Jr.
Michael Penix Jr.
No,
Bo Nix.
they'll take Bo Nix.
Bo Nix, 100%.
Really, that's the one that you
Mm-hmm.
guys think that they have more on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Is
got
it because
somebody that
Kevin
came-
O'Connell's white?
No, it's because
Just lay it out for me.
Because he
Is it-
came from Sean McVay's system.
Yeah.
That's just his system tailors a sit in the pocket, go through your progressions quarterback, not a scrambler.
I agree.
Have you guys seen tape of these guys? Have you guys seen tape? Bo Nix ran for a lot more touchdowns than Penix. And while Penix, yes, on paper has 4.4 speed, if you're talking the guy last
That's
year
true.
who sat in the pocket.
He was literally
and
told
just-
not to run
and-
outside of the pocket.
Yeah, like I'm just like
to save his
once
career.
again, I think not to say it, but you might be judging on appearance a little bit here because it's actually the Tanner quarterback who is the pocket quarterback, boys.
I still.
Or as
Waka
other
fucking
or as
Waka.
other people would like to argue, would say he's not a dual threat quarterback because he didn't do it last year.
At Marcus. Yeah, so that's where I think Panks goes. Plus, he's still, he looks good in purple already.
My thing is Penix showed last year, like his first year in Washington, it wasn't that successful. So what did they do? They went out and they got him some weapons other than Rome. So if you go put Penix in a situation where he has some weapons, where he's already set up to succeed,
Well, I think either
I
guy
think you're
works
gonna
in-
have the best success.
Either
there.
guy works in this offense. My argument was just more so what we were talking about. It's that the McVay tree is more sit and read your progressions, and that's literally what
Okay.
Penix was coming
All
from.
right.
So we did Michael Penix. Rick, here you go, buddy. You get your boy? Cooper. Just remember it's DB Cooper, DeJean.
No, I
you guys
think-
will take Amarius Mims here.
I honestly believe that
Or Latham.
Or Latham, yeah.
Jerry Splash is going to be trading back.
I think you guys need to replace your tackle. You guys just lost one of the best tackles in
Yeah,
the league.
you guys don't trade back if
You
a
take-
Tyron Smith replacement's available, especially someone like Amarius Mims, 6'8", 340, freak athlete. Like at 340, he ran a 5'1". I don't think that is fucking stupid. That is stupid.
Or J.C. Latham, a more polished four-year starter.
I like Mims more, but that's just Mims was also hurt.
We also need center, but I think if we stay here, we'll 100% go offensive line. But who do we not draft a quarterback yet?
I don't know, but we're going on a run here of offensive linemen. Well, I think
You're not going to go Bo Nix here, bud.
No. I'm saying us. I'm saying someone trades up. Here.
Rick's been on the trade back trade
I think the
since then.
Cowboys might trade out, honestly. But
Changing your name from Hot Dog Water Burleson to Trade Back Burleson.
Trade back for those.
TBB.
I see you guys taking a tackle to replace Tyron Smith. That's my opinion.
I do too.
That's a big fucking loss.
All right, Latham or Mims, I guess is the real question because those are the guys who are going to
my
be your
question
left
is
tackles.
are we keeping what's the other Smith at right tackle then?
Tyler Smith, yeah, I think so.
Probably.
Because they went him round 1 last year, so and he proved to be a good right tackle. You know what I mean?
But they've talked about moving him to left and then
I just think in the NFL you value tackle
No,
more
he
than
played
center.
guard last year.
Oh yeah.
He played guard because Terrence Still, we overpaid for him, just asinine amount of money to have him play right tackle. He's paying like $20 million a year right now. So,
I guess it's your team. We gave Siglin the pick for his. Your choice. Jace chose to hurt himself. I chose to give my pick to you guys, and you guys still treated me well, so I appreciate that.
So you guys think that Mims is the?
I do. He screams Jerry Jones. Like, if you're talking like a guy that you can develop, but the ceiling is, I mean, fucking 10 out of 10. Like, he is the mountain
Plus,
from
you guys
Game
have
of
been known
Thrones
to
if he played for
develop
Georgia.
offensive linemen pretty well.
It's fair.
Jerry could also shock the world and take the guy that runs a 4.240 here too.
You guys don't need a receiver, though. You guys still got Brandon Cooks. Like,
We want to have a third.
you have CeeDee
And I
Lamb.
think Cooks is probably.
CeeDee
on
Lamb,
this year.
deep draft. CeeDee Lamb, deep draft.
Dude, you could go get a player like Ricky Pierce. Dude, there's so many receivers.
Yeah. Lad McConkey.
All right, we're shaking dicks. Executive decision to Marius Mims.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah, that's
agree?
fine,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're circling the wagon.
I think they
Cooper
take J.C.
DeJean.
Latham.
Think the Packers
No,
take Cooper
they're
DeJean
taking
as a
Jackson Powers Johnson. Guarantee it.
So I will say, because my stepdad, Eric, shout out Pops, I love you. He is a diehard. He's always sharing the fishing elephant stuff. He's pretty much my number one fan on that. Also my mom too, but like he is on everything. So he said Jackson Powers Johnson when I texted him yesterday. So if he was available, I was gonna take him for Eric.
Packers
So
need a center that bad, huh?
they do. They need a whole line that bad. They got rid of Bakhtiari. Like it's a good thing Jordan Love can run because
No, Bakhtiari really can't play anymore.
well he's been hurt the past 2 years.
I feel
All
like
right.
last time you've seen a highlight of him was him chugging a beer.
Well, why does PFF think that the Buccaneers need like every position?
The Buccaneers made the playoffs and beat the defending NFC champions, but here's why they suck ass.
So
yeah.
weird. It's like, hey, they need 7.
Yeah, they have Devontae White. They brought back Levante David. Or no, they don't have Devin White anymore.
What do they need, honestly? I mean, I
And
don't
didn't
have-
he
They
go
need
to
a
the Eagles?
corner.
Yeah, Eagles.
Do they go Nate Wiggins or Cooper DeJean? I think it's one of those two.
I think Wiggins is once again your better corner, and because of the positionlessness of Cooper, he is why he's falling here. Nate Wiggins.
Yeah.
I see that.
Who did they get with their second one here?
Ooh, Cardinals. They need a wider or a corner bad. I think this is where DeJean goes.
Yeah. Either that or, yeah.
Cooper.
Do you agree with that, Siglin?
Yeah.
I was thinking another offensive line piece, but
So which offensive line piece?
To be
are
fair,
they-
though, they don't. There's no guards or centers here, and they just drafted Paris Johnson last year. So, and I think they're right at the turn of the second round too, so they could still get like a Graham Barton or somebody.
So the Steelers need offensive line or wide receiver. What do
I
you
think
go?
this is where J.C. Latham goes, but
I would
I
agree.
could see that, especially if you wanted to protect Russell.
You mean Justin?
Justin. I think Lions go corner.
I think we get a heavy corner. And
This is
tackle
actually
run
where I
at
thought
the end
Cooper
here.
was going to go.
This is where I got Chop Robinson going.
Really,
I
Chop
think-
to go opposite of
I think Kool-Aid.
Tyler Newbin could also go here.
because they do need a safety to replace C.J. Gardner Johnson.
They team him up with Brian Branch.
Branch is in the slot though.
He played a lot of more
So-
hybrid, in my opinion.
Newbin would be my pick for safety, just because schematically he makes sense.
But they
Kool-Aid
could go
also makes
Kool-Aid because
sense.
he's there.
Yeah, Kool-Aid makes sense. And I also like where Jace is going too. I think Chop Robinson would be someone who is very criminally undervalued right now. I think he was all of Penn State's
He just
defense
screams
last year.
Detroit. He just screams like a guy that
He
Would-
bites ankles.
he bites
Yeah.
an ankle biter. Yeah.
Fuck it.
Chop Robinson, let's rock it. Let's chop it up, man.
I mean,
One-
we're
one
talking
thing
about
we
a
have-
guy who went and took Jack Campbell at 17 last year.
One thing we haven't considered here is a Bo Nix trade either. By the way,
I do. Yeah, I think either Nix or Rattler we start talking about right in these next.
Rattler's not going to get traded.
not
Nobody's going to
first
trade him.
round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's a first-round quarterback.
No, not a first round
who do we
quarterback.
not-
I could also see the Saints trying to just trade up in the second round to grab Bo.
I don't think Bo gets out of the first at all. Who didn't get a quarterback yet? I keep forgetting.
Saints.
Saints.
Giants.
There's some
Ooh,
Giants.
Giants.
The Rams are a sleeper team to grab a quarterback.
Ooh, the Giants.
The thing about Bo Nix though is, if you're trading back in the first, is he a stash guy? Like I know you stashed Lamar Jackson for a year behind Flacco, but Nix is 24, Jackson was 21.
Touche.
Yeah.
So like Bo Nix is kind of like
He's a turnkey.
Maybe there's a team. Who is a team who we didn't draft a quarterback for, but could still possibly.
Saints.
I just think Derek's at least their starter this year.
Yeah, I don't think they trade back up to do that.
Yeah.
Who else was I thinking for quarterback?
There's the Saints. The Giants are in the mid-second.
What receivers are available, actually?
Patriots.
Adonai Mitchell.
Didn't we take a quarterback for the Patriots? Oh,
No, we never did.
100% Patriots. then.
Patriots are pick 34.
Yeah, that would be an easy one because they
I
don't have to work
haven't
with you.
seen anything on New England liking Bo.
I think the Patriots that'd be a good value for them. They'll have to move up 6 picks
Yeah.
or whatever it is, 5 picks.
But I don't know if Baltimore's who they would. They'd probably trade with San Francisco, not Baltimore.
You don't think they want to work together? You mean?
What about Baltimore grabbing?
Troy Franklin.
They need a wide receiver.
I think Xavier goes before him just because of where we're at now. The problem is those after grabbing Zay Flowers, do you go for another small guy like that, or do you trade like Troy Franklin or even Xavier Leggett, who's fucking Debo Samuel on steroids?
What about Lad McConkey?
Once again, though, it's
Small
just
as
too
fuck.
small. Like like they just drafted Zay Flowers. I think if they pick a receiver,
I would see
high,
him going Keon Coleman before they went.
not after the combine. He's dropping.
He's still game tape. I mean,
What else do they need besides wide
DK
receiver?
Metcalf has showed that you can have a bad combine and still be a
They
phenomenal player.
need corner or safety would be one
Kool-Aid.
too. Actually, I like Kool-Aid
I
here.
think
Yeah,
Kool-Aid actually makes a lot of sense.
Kool-Aid. Drink it.
I guess they did lose a lot of their defense.
They did. They-
Yeah.
I would say that.
I can see that.
And then get a wide receiver in the second, probably.
And Marlon Humphrey's not getting any
And I
younger,
agree
so
with this is the Patriots coming to here. In San Francisco.
what do you trade up though?
They give the
It's probably
Patriots
34 and
didn't bring
68.
Bo Nix in for a single visit.
So I think 68 goes
The
for
Patriots
94.
Nope.
And this probably isn't going to happen. I think we're wasting our time right here.
We really
the
think
Patriots
Bo
didn't
Nix
e-
is going to slip to the second
It's
round.
Oh, yeah.
not. It's not. It's
Will-
not. I
Will
was about to say
Levis
it's
did.
not. It's not so much unheard of that Bo Nix or someone like that is going to go to the second round. My thing is,
Will Levis slipped to the second last year. Nobody traded up to grab him to get that 5th-year option.
that's fair. And we thought, well, there was a lot of chatter, just nothing got done.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of people talking it, but once again, is if it gets done or not. I think the Niners, because of their comp pick city, I don't think they're looking at anything. I think they could just go best player available. And when you need an offensive lineman like they do, I could see Graham Barton going here. He's versatile. He's
Versatile,
quick.
and
He
they
could
need somebody
play.
to play multiple positions. And It's
Exactly.
going to be insane. And the
Graham
Chiefs,
Barton?
the Chiefs literally get the fast guy to fit in their offense.
I
Xavier
actually
Worthy.
think they take Troy.
I think they take Xavier Worthy.
I'm on Siglin's team. I think it's Troy Franklin because Troy is a more well-rounded receiver. He's still a 4.3 speed guy,
6'3".
but you just got Hollywood Brown. Like you
Yeah.
don't need another. Like that's the thing. Is like, do you have a short guy? Do you have that Henry Ruggs break the top off the defense?
Ruggs.
And kill somebody. No, but that's what I think of. Like, is short but fast. Hollywood Brown. Those type of guys. Like we just got Trey Tucker. They got Josh Downs. Like if you already have that guy, you're not getting a second one.
6'3" contested, like he's the big-bodied go up and get it guy.
He's a little skinny,
He's a smaller frame guy. He's literally his
But-
pro comp was T. Higgins
but I think you have him and Rashee Rice on the
with
outside.
a little more speed.
You have Hollywood on the inside. That's
There
dynamic.
it is. Perfect.
All right, boys, let's run it back.
I think we made one mistake.
First overall, what's
Oh,
that?
I'm sure we made more than one.
Oh,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
multiple.
It's a 4-man mock draft. This isn't going to be clean. But number 1 is the Chicago Bears. We got Caleb Williams. Number 2 to the Washington Commanders. We got Drake May. Number 3, first trade of the draft. We had the Raiders trading up for Jaden Daniels. No, I did not homer that trade for anybody watching the recap right now. That was all the boys. So thank you. Number 4, Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Cardinals. Number 5 to the Chargers. We got Malik Neighbors. And in 3 wide receivers in a row, we got Roma Dunze going to the Giants. Number 7, we got Joe Alt going to the Tennessee Titans. Number 8, we have Dallas Turner going to the Falcons. Number 9, we have another big trade, the Bengals trading up for Brock Bowers. Number 10, Jace stuck himself in the heart with a J.J. McCarthy 2-pick swap going from 12 to 10. Number 11, the Vikings settled on Quinton Mitchell. Number 12, the Jets go back and still get their guy in Trey Fontenot. Number 13, the Patriots move back 10 spots and get Leitu Latu. Number 14, the Saints stick on the inside and get Byron Murphy from Texas. Number 15, the Colts get Brian Thomas Jr. from LSU, wide receiver. Number 16, the Eagles trade up and get Tyrion Arnold from Alabama. Number 17, the Jaguars start their second verse and get Jared Verse to go across from Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen. Number 18, the Bears traded back to get Jerzon Newton. Number 19, the Los Angeles Rams pick Olayua Fashanu from Penn State, an offensive tackle. Number 20, the Bills traded up to get Adonai Mitchell from Texas. 21, the Dolphins grabbed Talise Fuaga, right tackle, Oregon State. 22, the Seahawks traded back and grabbed Peyton Wilson, linebacker from North Carolina State. 23, Michael Penix Jr. goes to the Minnesota Vikings. Number 24, Rick's Dallas Cowboys get Amarius Mims, tackle from Georgia. 25, shout out to Eric. The Green Bay Packers grabbed Jackson Powers Johnson, center from Oregon, otherwise known as Austin Powers Johnson.
No.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Number 26, Nate Wiggins, cornerback from Clemson, goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At 27, going from the Midwest to Arizona, Cooper DeJean's hitting the retirement train, cornerback / safety from Iowa. J.C. Latham, offensive tackle from Alabama, goes 28 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chop Robinson, edge defender from Penn State, goes 29 to the Lions. At 30, we see the Ravens get Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama. At 31, Graham Barton, tackle from Duke, goes to the San Francisco 49ers. And to round it all out, we got Troy Franklin from the Kansas City Chiefs going 32 going from Oregon to the Kansas City Chiefs as a wide receiver. So
There it is.
let's save it, and we will post it and print it and do all of the social media things with it. So how are we feeling, boys? Let's get some round table and doing some of this here before
I'll let
we,
you guys
deuce
round
out.
table. I got to deuce out. So appreciate you, boys. But you guys round table it out.
Yep.
I'll catch you later. Catch you boys later.
Later, brother.
Tell Kevin, thanks for the invite.
Oh.
I'm salty. It's
You're
fine.
salty?
Yep. Not
I
really.
won't.
Not really, no. I don't want to do anything this today.
Yep. All right. See you guys.
Love you. All right. Well, I guess let's just cut it off and we can kind of chat off screen. But anyways, to you.